bold move to restore peace, the Asaba community has invoked ancestral powers through a ritual known as Isiofo, placing curses on cultists and drug peddlers threatening the town. The Odogu of Asaba, Obi Odwa, leads the procession along spiritual leaders, native doctors from across the state, visiting key locations to call on the gods for justice.
The penalty is death. Without sympathy or whatever, the penalty should be death. Because if you go planning on how to cause mayhem, if you go planning on how to kill another innocent person, I mean, whatever you wish on another, that you shall get. Like Asaba will always say, Asaba, we don't have gold or silver, we don't have oil or whatever. What we have going for us is peace. And once we let go of that peace, Asaba will be gone.
At Ogbo AK Square, the Asaba of Asaba, His Royal Majesty, Professor Epiphany Azingi, commends the effort and warns criminals to repent or face consequences beyond human control.
We now have additional work to do. We need to secretly follow the drug users among our children to identify where they are obtaining the drugs. They are breaking the law, violating the regulations of our country, state, and community by peddling drugs. Drugs have destroyed many of our children. Additionally, it is crucial to ensure peace, as it is essential for the development of our community.
Oshimli South Council Chairman Dr. Obi Kelvin Eilei pledges continued support and announced plans to establish a National Drug Law Enforcement Agency office in the council to strengthen enforcement.
Every initiative that has to do with us benchmarking and checkmating insecurity in the Oshimli South, consider the local government in 100% support.
With traditional rulers and local authorities working together, Asaba sends a strong message. Peace must prevail and crime will not go unpunished. Time will tell how effective the ancestral intervention will be.
What you have seen so far is a system breakdown. When people realize that the government that they have cannot protect them, when you realize that every avenue for you to ask for help, to be protected as a citizen by your government, when the very simplest thing that any government is asked for, protection of lives and property, when the government cannot provide such thing as basic as health, security, then the system is broken down. This is exactly what you've seen from this community, these Asaba people, really, where they've had to go and conjure and ask spirits, deities to protect them because their government cannot protect them. When the government comes and tells Nigerians that insecurity is actually increasing in the country, that security is actually making progress, and the police inspector general and the chief of defense staff says the same thing, you wonder what are they talking exactly. Look at what is going on in the country. Look at the northeast. Look at the northwest. Look at the north central. Look at the middle belt. Look at the south. Insecurity all over the country. But the government comes to tell Nigerians that they're performing. This is an indictment on the government at all levels, from the federal government to the state government to the local government. I mean, we know the local government is non-existent in Nigeria right now anyway. But the key point here is this. When the people have now come to resolve in themselves that they cannot be protected by their government, they will resort to something like invoking spirits and deities and making pledges to some spirit to protect them. Because in all fairness, they have every right to lose faith in their government. Why? Because people are sleeping in their houses and they get killed. Somebody commits acts of violence and the government cannot probe them. Somebody was in his farm, farming. Another person intrudes into his farm. He defends himself because he was going to be killed. And the court sentenced him to death for defending himself. In a country where if you don't, you get killed. But if you do, you get sentenced to die anyway. This is that kind of country we find ourselves in, where the judiciary is so swift to rule in favor of very wealthy and very powerful men. But when it comes to the citizenry, the actual citizen that needs the help, our politicians or the judiciary will never move their hands. This is the kind of Nigeria we find ourselves in, where impunity of corruption has invaded every nook and cranny of our nation. This is an indictment on the government. In all fairness, it's an indictment. It is in this same Delta state that the governor and the state representatives all defected to the APC, where they said good and positive things about the governor. But look at your people now. They can't trust you. They can't count on you. They're resorting to the point where they have to now invoke spirits and deities to help them. Going to key areas of the town, of the city, and putting and swearing an oath to deities to protect them. So that whoever commits that crime gets killed in the process. That's the kind of nation we live in. That's the kind of nature Nigeria has become right now, where only spirits can save the people, not the government. Because the government is all bent on coming back 2027. Governance is out of the way. Election campaigning has already begun, which he started from day one when he became president. This is what I'm talking about. Again, like I said, when a government fails in its basic responsibility of providing security for lives and properties, that government is a complete and catastrophic failure. And that's what this government has been. So again, like I said, every person involved, from the federal to the state and to the local government. As a matter of fact, you heard the local government chairman telling them that he's involved, is completely backing them 100%. I'm not saying that we should laugh at him, because he himself has come to the point where he does not trust the federal government or the state government to provide such security for them. So if the local government chairman, as you can see, can tell the people, whatever you need, I'm supporting you 100%. That's an indictment on the government. That's an indictment on the people in authority. And that's where Nigeria is. So again, when government fails and government cannot solve insecurity problem, the people of Delta State, the people of Asaba, I think, they've now turned to deities, to spirits to protect them. Nigerians are turning to spirits to protect them because their government cannot. How? What sort of nation are we living in? Listen, as 2027 approaches, I have been saying this and I've been using this channel to sensitize Nigerians. Whether you're home, whether you're abroad, you cannot be sentimental. Because bad governance has no business with sentiment, because it affects every one of us. It doesn't matter who the candidate is. As a matter of fact, we should be independent voters in Nigeria, because our politicians have no allegiance to anybody but their pockets. So as a matter of fact, it doesn't matter who the politician is, whether it's Peter Obi, Bola Tinubu, Atiku, El-Rufai, Amechi, the SDP guy. It doesn't matter who the person is. One thing is for sure: query their policy. Ask them to tell you how they're going to solve this insecurity problem, food crisis, monetary crisis, fear crisis. Let them tell you where the money is going to come from. You remember, Bola Tinubu did not campaign in front of all of you. He did not debate. Today, you can see him borrowing money everywhere. He didn't tell you how he's going to fix the country, so he's not fixing anything. So you cannot be sentimental because he's your tribesman, or he's of the same religion or ethnicity. You cannot be tribal. And don't let them play that tribal game with you. We're all suffering the consequences of bad government. And then you and I, we're going to continue that if we don't vote right in 2027. And again, don't sell your vote. Don't let politicians buy your vote. Because when they do, they've paid you for 4 years. It doesn't matter whether or not he's your tribesman. He's paid you for 4 years to steal from you what you should have gotten as part of the dividends of democracy. So put your comments in the comment section. Let us know what you think about what this entire thing looks like to you. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also remember to recommend this channel to others. I will catch you up in the next video. Bye-bye. God bless you.